Welcome. Today in this evening session, we shall be focusing upon the formulation Anupurvi Kram. The formulation Anupurvi Kram is the integrated format formulation of the values of Ekadhikein, Purvain and Anurupain. This integrated formulation Anupurvi Kram in fact is a complete coverage from Sutra 1 to Sutra 2, as here the gap even stands bridged in terms of the values of Ganitas of Sutra 1. Therefore, as we have settled already, that for writing of the textbooks of Ganita Sutras, mathematics, we have to make one group who will focus upon the numbers systems, and with the help of the basic values of Ganita Sutra 1, Ganita Upsutra 1, together as Anupurvi Kram, and the subsequent integrated formulations of the Vedic systems shall be availed to reach at from number 1 to 0, also to 1, and likewise we will ultimately reach at 1 multiplied by 1 as a square, and then also we'll reach at the square roots, cube roots, and so on. And we will not stop that we have to have only the numbers of the square roots. We have to proceed ahead as the Vedic systems are proceeding ahead to cube roots and likewise to the nth roots. Specifically, the focus is to remain upon the creative numbers, means the fourth powers, where the order is going to be spatial and the working unit is going to be half. Then we have to be going a step ahead at the transcendental numbers, where 3 space is going to play the role of a dimension of a 5 space. Ahead are going to be the self-referral numbers, where creators of space, 4 space, is going to play its role as dimension of a 6 space. Things even doesn't stop here. Then we have a unity state where the transcendental dimensional order is at work, and we have a 7 space where we will be reaching inside the sunlight. Therefore, the Vedic mathematics reach, sequential reach at the number systems is of much wider range, broader range, deeper range than that of the present mathematics reach at the number systems. The second group is for which I am now giving a specific focus. It is that our present day set theory as a collection of some entities without knowledge about the entities and without any knowledge about their interrelationship as such, and then having a reach at the set by inserting in the name of operations like and so on, Now sets with operations or operators, the method as it is in a very primitive stage. It has not reached the Vedic order, as the Vedic systems are approaching it as Gana. The second chapter, or the second focus, the second group of us will be writing a complete chapter or a complete book upon Ganas. This, on the initial stage, will be appearing to be as if we are replicating the set theory, but while the fact is that the Ganit is the word which letter-wise leads us to Gan. It is some sort of the entities which have been of the letters as formulations, and letters are taking us to the Varnamala, and Varnamala here would mean a garland of the letters, and this garland is having a stitching thread which is running through the letters as flowers, and these letters are being stitched and are being made the garlands. This thread, when is removed from the letters, and the letters become as isolated, segregated, discrete entities, then those entities as such are not having as much importance as is going to be in its string, a stitching string. Now, this stitching string, in fact, amounts to the removal of the stitching string amounts to a tracing back of the steps. It is this tracing back of the sets of the Ganas which is of basic importance for Vedic technologies. Vedic technologies are the technologies which are availing Vedic mathematics. The mathematics of the way here the manifested creations are making the domains, and we have to reach at the start with position from where step by step the manifested creations have been stitched, have been made domains. This group then is to sequentially cover that we are having, say, some entities, some pebbles, some flowers here, some entities, some flowers here, then how to have a correspondence here, and how to have a transmigration of the entities from here, this way and that way. For having a structured approach, we can begin with the interval or a line, a portion of a line, and we will take another portion of a line, and we may try to have some sort of relationship, some sort of the transportation, or some sort of interrelationship between the setup points here, the entities here, with the setup points and set of entities here. Here the entities may be a point of a line or a point on a line. So point on a line as such would mean that the line is being availed as a format for arrangement of the points. And the point of a line would mean the points which as structural constituents are constituting a line. So point as an independent entity set along the format of a line is of distinct features than the point of a line, which means the constituent of a line. And the constituent of a line will be having a length within a point. So point in fact will be having a line, a length inherently embedded in it. So the point of a line is a structured point with structures of the line. So this type of correspondence, this type of coordination and is of a distinct features. Then further we can take up on the one hand a line and the other hand we can have a plane, and then likewise here the point on a line and a point of a line, point on a square and point of the surface, and the point of the line within a surface will be the another structures, another setups whose functional coordinations, and then the tracing back of those steps, like how if we are reaching from here to here or otherwise from an interval to back to the square or a surface, likewise surface to a cube or a line to a cube. These are some of the initial phases and stages through which we have to avail Anupurvi Kram by the formulations of sequential steps, one more than before, and then following the symmetry. And this symmetry following in fact would amount to, we can have as many number of steps as we would like. It will not limit us that how many steps are to be taken. But a combined effect of Anupurvi Kram in sense would mean that we have to follow the structures, the way the entity, say as a surface, is structured, and how these structures are to be coordinated with the another set of structures. This will take us to having a mechanism, a mathematics, a technique, or a sequential logistic steps in terms of which we will be tracing back this structural composition. For it, the best example will be that we can have an interval square and a cube within a cube. And on the other hand also we can have interval square and a cube within a cube. So a reach from here to the reach here is going to be of a multiple facets, multiple aspects, and it is this aspect upon which we shall have a focus for maturing ourselves, for making ourselves conscious and alive to these structures here, the way structural setup is here and the way structural setup is here, and how we can trace back the steps of this structural setup and structural setup of this portion, and then how we shall be having sequential correspondence of transformations, of translations, of transmigrations of the structures. The third chapter, which is to be written by the third group, and it is a group which shall be focusing upon as to how we have to transcend from the existing Ganas or existing structural setup. That means how we can transit from this setup to this setup, transition from this setup to this setup, and then further from this to this setup, step ahead, how to have a transition ahead to a creative domain. It is going to be a shift in the dimensional frames as well, as these three bodies are sequentially availing single, double and the triple dimensions. And this single, double and triple dimensions are having their complete expression within a cube. But when we have to transcend from this structural domain ahead, then it is not only that number of dimensions will increase, but the dimensional order itself will increase. And it is this feature of transition in the setup of the dimensional order as well is to be at a focus. Let me revise. We are having at present three groups. First group is focusing upon number systems. Second group is focusing upon Ganas. And third group is focusing upon transitions as transformations in the form of the dimensional orders. Here, up till these two steps, the focus practically is upon the domain part, or a volume part, or a length part. But here in the third aspect, the focus is going to be upon a dimensional frames. This shift from domain to dimensional frames. So domain here is a volume part. What makes a volume, how volume is structured. Then shift to dimensional frame would mean that when we'll be transcending from this to the next creative domain, then we shall be transcending from this setup of the dimensional frame to this setup of a dimensional frame. And here as well, the dimensional frame will be taking us to the order of dimension of a dimension. This group, the third group, is to be more conscious, as here there is a great chance one getting mixed up with the role of a space content. Space content naturally will be manifesting as a domain, and then this domain is to play its different roles, and one of the roles of the domains is of a dimensional frame. So dimensional frame itself is a set of dimensions, and each dimension itself is a domain. So in fact here there are number of domains simultaneously coming into play. It is this aspect, it is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well before attempt is being made to write this chapter. Thank you very much.